Got so quiet. It's as if we are having an important meeting in here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I am so excited to see you all here and to be able to have this meeting in person with you all. Thank you to everyone who's here in person. Thank you to the many who are on our live stream. We have already more than doubled our number of live streamers from last year. So we have a robust community on the Zoom machine, as well as a great group here this evening. The support and encouragement of you all powers what we do here at Cedarcrest, and it makes it possible for us to provide the exceptional medical care and education that we are so proud of. I'd like to officially welcome you all to our 76th annual meeting, where this year's theme of inspiration anchors our agenda. In addition to our official board business recognizing our awesome trustees, we'll hear thoughts from Board Chair Tom Bennett. We'll hear from 3 incredible team members reflecting on their connections and inspirations at Cedarcrest. We'll acknowledge 2 wonderful Cedarcrest champions whose work and contributions to our community helps enrich what we do every day. We get to celebrate a group of passionate learners who are receiving scholarships tonight, and we'll even share with you all a sneak peek of our new logo. Stay tuned for the end. We'll have a big reveal. It'll be a whole deal. In a bit of a change to our normal program format, I am super thrilled to have a keynote speaker this evening. Tell you a little bit about him. Jeff Saari is the CEO of Workplace Culture Solutions and Visionary Coaching LLC. He founded his company in Keene, New Hampshire in 2007. His passion and purpose is to support strategic leadership and cultural excellence in small to medium-sized businesses. He works with leaders to achieve a maximum level of emotional intelligence to share with their organizations. He teaches communication and meeting facilitation skills, practices one-on-one and group coaching, and leads organizational retreats. The skills he supports translate far and wide from personal life to the boardroom to the shop floor. I heard he was even able to corral the firefighters to get them all rowing in the same direction. He's also an active faculty at Keene State College. He has certifications in mindfulness meditation, gentle teaching, and structural thinking. He lives in Keene with his wife and daughter, and he's coached in a variety of sectors, including fitness, life, college, and couples, and is passionate about fitness, nutrition, drumming, and family. Jeff's made a variety of contributions to our community already in the areas of staff training and leadership, and I'm delighted now to welcome him to the podium for our keynote address.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that introduction. Look at all these beautiful faces. Can you hear me okay, Alex? Perfect. New faces. Old faces, wink, wink, not old as in old, but folks I know, some folks I don't. I'm so happy to be here to deliver this keynote, and I want you to consider something. The average human takes 22,000 breaths per day. And if you live to be the ripe old age of 85 or so, you're going to take about 700 million breaths in your lifetime. That's one way to think about inspiration, right? Is breathing in and out. And how cool is it if you sleep 8 hours, you have 16 hours of breathing, which is probably like 16,000 breaths, to feel the love, right? To feel inspired to think really cool thoughts about a variety of things, including Cedarcrest. So, I want you to do a little activity with me. All right? So everyone just take a deep breath with me. In, out, inspiring, right? Inspiring and expiring. Nobody's going to expire. We're all inspiring and we're expiring. I want you to become present in this moment. So all the nice conversations you had, the work you had today, leave that behind. Take a deep breath. Don't care about what's after this. Just be here now in this moment. How cool is that? We have arrived. Ha. All right, and as you breathe in again, I want you to answer this question. Why are you here? What inspired you to come tonight, besides the awesome food? What is your why? And I want you to think about that as you breathe. Meditate on that for about 20 or 30 seconds. And I want you to get an answer in your head. Why are you here? Why do you choose to spend your precious time and energy to come here tonight when you could be doing so many other things in your busy lives? Okay? So let that rumination settle in. All got one? All right, so now this is the active portion of the program. I want you to turn to your partner. And if you're a threesome, kind of make that happen. So we have twos and threes, and that's fine. I want you to share your why with your partner. Let's get into it. Why are you here? What are you doing here? I'll give you a minute. All right, all right. Come on back to Jeffrey. Come on back to Jeff. Boy, as an observer of humans, I saw some wonderful smiles and some great body language and leaning in and pointing and raising your hands and maybe even hugging. Lots of laughter, right? No one's like, oh, I came here because I had to, right? It's not that. You came for a reason and purpose. So I'd love someone, a few people, to stand up and decree in public why you're here tonight. Why are you there? Who wants to step into the group energy? And
I will.
all right, here we go. Deb.
I'm here for the love of the kids, for the children.
For the love of the kids and the children. Beautiful.
I'm here because I'm proud of the work that we do here at Cedarcrest.
Proud of the work we do here at Cedarcrest. Aaron?
Yeah, I'm here because I love this organization and I love being able to support the people who do the most work in this organization.
Wow. Amazing. Anyone else? Want to share your why?
Because I was invited.
Perfect.
I really respect the institution, and I'm thrilled at the prospect of being part of it again.
Awesome. Wow. Yes, sir.
I'm here because one big reason is the uniqueness of Cedarcrest. It's such an important place for families and children that, in wide areas of New England, and we also become a model. We have
Awesome. Wonderful. All right, one more under the wire. Who wants to go? All right, all right. Alan, and we're going to have two more. Alan.
I'm afraid to disappoint Patty.
Okay. We don't want to disappoint Patty. She's in a very good mood today.
Jay and I were talking, it was the passion, and everybody's here for a different form of passion, whether it be for the kids, the staff, the whole, what we formed as a group and a community here. So I guess, yeah, it's passion.
I can feel it. You can't see her face, but it's beaming. All right, so in high school, my worst grade was a D, and that was in physics. Senior year, partly because I cheated. But And I got caught. Yes, I did. Not very inspiring, is that? But I love physics, even though I didn't go on to be a scientist. As a coach, there's some really cool laws, and one of them I want to share with you tonight. You know you're going to get a physics lesson, right? Constructive interference. How cool is that? And that is simply when two waves of equal strength and intensity come together, they collide, conjoin, confluence, connect to form a doubly as big wave, more powerful than the two put together. How cool is that? And I thought, well, wait a second, when I'm doing this keynote, couldn't we equate all of the passion and purpose and focus and love that you have into that world called love? Right? We could just distill everything that you just said down into love. And if we look at the children, the things that you're doing, these children we know children are full of kindness, creativity, fun, happiness, joy. And couldn't we distill those qualities into the word called love? So what if love met love? Wouldn't that create such a powerful cauldron of possibilities and connections? And that's what's happening here. Another way to think about inspiration is a state of mental and emotional stimulation around something creative or important. And we need to look no further than the roots of Cedarcrest. Short distance away on Flying Pig Farm, 1947, two women saw a need in the communities. They supported and they created an organization that had scant resources, worked long hours, right? We're talking about Dorothy and Eleanor, Dorothy Sawyer and Eleanor Clement, the OG Cedarcrest women. Those are amazing stories. The video on the website, if you haven't seen it, is incredible. Their story is remarkable. It's grit, it's power, it's love, it's growth, it's tenacity, and it's inspiring. So, my friends, inspiration, isn't that great? When it comes, it's fleeting. It's a catalyst. But the old adage, 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration, still holds true, my friends. You got to work for it. And in his speech that literally broke the internet, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the man, the myth, and the legend, exposes how he went from penniless to Mr. Olympia in the shortest amount of time because, quote, he worked, and worked more, never wasting a second to train and be better. Wow, now that's tenacity. Inspiration's amazing, gives us purpose and focus, but perspiration is equally as important, if not more, to act and get our outcomes. So, in closing, I look around. I see, again, beautiful old and new faces. I see people who have shown up to act through their inspiration to make this organization better. You should be proud of that. You work tirelessly. You're focused. You're going to leave a legacy. Long after we're gone, Cedarcrest will live on because of the stamp that we put on it today. And if that's not inspiring, I don't know what is.
Thank you, Jeff, for your inspiring words and for doing the first ever keynote at an annual meeting of Cedarcrest, Inc. It's genuinely been a joy seeing our team engage with Jeff and applying his principles and exercises to our work, and we look forward to working with Jeff on an ongoing basis as we move forward. I have some remarks. You might see people give me a cue to wrap it up and be brief, but I am very inspired to be here, and it's amazing to me that I am attending my 3rd annual meeting, and I am celebrating 2 full years with you all. In some ways, it feels like we're just getting started, and in others, it feels like we've already done so much together for this organization, for the staff and the children and the families. In our printed and our digital annual report, you'll read some of our favorite highlights from the past year, increasing the number and consistency of field trips, recreational activities, hi Hannah, and other community engagements in the school and home, working to support a pronounced increase in the acuity of care without compromising on the quality of care that we provide, being relentless about positive changes in pay, benefits, and environment for the team, and working with a broad cross-section of our Cedarcrest community, including many of the folks in this room, on our new 3-year strategic plan. We also celebrated another deficiency-free state survey and a full 5-year recertification of our school, and deepened our involvement in advocacy efforts, conferences at the state and national level. While there have been obstacles and opportunities aplenty, I am so profoundly inspired by the will and the drive of the team members that make all this a reality. I'd like to do something a little bit different with my remarks tonight and take a few minutes to acknowledge some of the leaders here who make these successes possible. So I'm going to talk about some people. I'm not going to have time to talk about all of the incredible people, but I want to highlight some individuals and some successes from this year. I want to talk about Kristen Target, who not only coordinates our admissions, our discharges, our short stays, our state agency relations, our family supports, but also helps lead special events like our incredible Fire and Ice Prom this year, and recreational activities for our children and young adults. I want to talk about Patty Farmer, who leads messaging, development, community relations, who also helps coordinate special events like the incredibly successful Walk and Roll, our annual meeting, our tree lighting. And importantly, Patty also helps corral my public presence, which is an underrated, difficult job that she's tasked with. I want to talk about Erin Dallas Patch, who is leading our transition to people operations and implementing many of the positive changes that we've talked about and that you've read about. We're embracing this idea under Erin's leadership that staff who are supported create incredible outcomes for the children and young adults that we serve. I want to talk about Amanda Coe, who hates it when we talk about her. But she has revitalized our school and our education program since coming on as head of school, somewhat as a surprise, maybe a little bit earlier than the succession plan asked for, and whose organizational ability, thoughtfulness, and dedication led to that 5-year full renewal of our school certification, which is not an easy task. I want to talk about Jim Yanizzi, who came on more than a year ago now and helped us realize a budget that has made those historic investments in our people and in our programs, but yet was also our most responsible budget yet. He's also helped us make major improvements in our fiscal efficiency, our processes, and our effectiveness. I need to talk about Bridget Tepfer, who successfully navigated the sunset of the public health emergency, historically high acuity and resident care needs, and has made positive changes in processes, key staff, new staff roles in the programming in the home end. I have to talk about our clinical care team, including Medical Director Dr. Kathy Collins, nurse managers Jen Ritter and Amanda Babcock, and the passionate, committed, and impressive nurses, LNAs, CCAs, and feeding techs who do the real work here. Our education team, including our teachers Elena, Mary, Nadja, and Stephanie, and the motivated, dedicated LNAs and education assistants in the school. Our therapy team, our manager Karen, and our therapists Jill and Stephanie, Katie, Heather, Alicia. You see, the problem I have here is that there are so many people to thank because there are so many people that let me be up here doing this. I have the greatest job in the world because I have this team to go to war with. I have this team to make the incredible outcomes happen. Our support services team, John Hamler and Phil in facilities, Louis, Sonia, Lisa, Bill, Steve, Reen, and Ava in environmental services. It's like the end of the award show when they give you the hook, you know? Just a couple more. Matt, Steve, Ty, and Liz in our dietary department, Chris, Deb, Carol, and Tori, who provide administrative support, Bill and John in IT, We have folks in new roles that have come on and made huge impacts in their initial time with us, including Marianne in development, who I think everyone in this town knows. Marianne is incredible. Melissa in social services, who has made a transition, has been with us. Hannah, who I mentioned, who has come on and taken the helm of our recreation department. Elaine and Kayla, new float nurses on our team. Stephanie, our new teacher in the school. There are so many. There are so many incredible people here doing incredible things. I've said it to a few of you in the room tonight already. I say it too much, but it is an incredible time to be at Cedarcrest because we are a place with incredible people doing incredible work. I'm no longer allowed to say the word incredible tonight, so tell me too many times. I also have to acknowledge that there are many staff who do the hard work, evenings, weekends, overnights, and on any of the shifts where we look at it and we say, that is not ideal. That is not an ideal staffing mix today. And those staff always leap into the breach. They always go into it with joy. They go into it saying, what good work are we going to do today, although it's not an ideal staffing circumstance. I think about people like Lane, Ada, and Shannon, and all of the others who willingly step up into additional tasks, roles, and opportunities. There are too many people to name everyone individually and without rushing, and too many thank yous here that are so well deserved. My daughter, who many of you have met, is 2.5, and she's now a huge fan of Pixar movies. I was talking with her a little bit about, hey, Daddy has to give a speech, what should I talk about? She's really stuck on Toy Story right now. And so one inspirational quote that we're fond of in my house is from Toy Story when Buzz Lightyear says, "To infinity and beyond." This Cedarcrest team takes us there and is an inspiration to me each and every day in the work that I do, and is an inspiration to the children and young adults that we are so lucky to serve. It is such an honor to be here and to help guide what comes next for this organization, and it's such an honor to share some of that with all of you tonight. I'm going to bring Jeff back to the stage to facilitate the next portion of our program.
Thanks, Jay. Powerful words and focused on how strong your team is. It's just amazing to hear. And I would like to now get Shannon Miner up here, LNA, to say some inspirational words.
Hi. I just wanted to say a few inspirational things of working in this school is to be able to watch the children succeed and to be a part of that. I have a student that I work with that he communicates with individuals who walk into the classroom. He will hold a conversation with them, and he could not do that before. Just being a part of their everyday successes, just watching them be able to grow and learn new things.
That's amazing. Must feel incredible to see the change and progress in young ones' lives. Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. So we're going to shift to Tom Bennett, the board chair. He's going to give us some inspirational words as well. So let's have Tom.
And I'm also going to do some board business, so my apologies for that. I have to say, listening to Jay's remarks and Shannon's remarks, every time I walk into Cedarcrest, it makes me happy. It's a community of people who are very positive, do really hard work, and do it with such grace. The team that is working here, as I say, it is so rewarding every day that I have an opportunity to come and meet with Jay or any of the other staff. Yesterday I was here, and Jay and I wandered down to the home and spent some time and met with some of the nurses, some of the residents, and my wife and I have been visiting with Hannah occasionally on Saturday, not nearly as often as I would like, and taking the residents for a walk, taking Olivia for a walk, or reading to them. Yeah, it's really, really cool. This is just an amazing place, and I am so thankful. I was just talking to Glenn about this. So thankful to Glenn, Kathy. You two were my initial welcome, and Cindy, and thank you for that. This is just truly a rewarding and wonderful place to be, and makes me happy. Such a great community, so inspiring. Sorry, now the board business. This is indeed a celebration of 76 years of service to children and families in New Hampshire and neighboring states, Maine and Vermont. I need to recognize the trustees of Cedarcrest, Annie DeSilva, Jed Donlin, Jackie Ether, Donovan Fenton, Kevin Forrest, Matt Goodwin, Lou Gill, Dee Milligan, Liz Peets, Richard Skeels, Cameron Tees, and Kathy Wilbarger. I want to thank all of them for their service to Cedarcrest and to the overall community. We also have with us members of the Advisory Council. And will members of the Advisory Council please stand? It's a fairly reasonable group, I think, today. If we can get some standing, there we are. Some transitioning into the board. Well done. Thank you all very much. We do have two trustees who are stepping down and will be missed. Cam Tees is, again, one of the folks who welcomed me here and is tireless in his efforts for Cedarcrest in so many ways. He's worked on development committee, he's an officer in the governance committee, and has also committed countless hours in strategic planning, search for our new leader, Jay, and not so new, 3 years coming up on. As well as comes in and volunteers with the children on Sundays. Also need to recognize Elizabeth Peets. Liz has served on multiple committees. Most recently, she's on quality practice. She's provided so much insight from her professional career and giving us guidance in how we can serve our residents the best way. Both of these folks really deserve our great appreciation. So, round of applause for them, please. Earlier today, after some changes, we approved the board and the advisory council through electronic communications, so we don't have to take the time of a vote now. I don't think anyone will mind. And so the Board of Trustees earlier today approved not only that, but the minutes of the annual meeting. And the members renewing their terms are Jackie Ether and Richard Skeels. The new members to the trustees, and this is really an all-star cast that is coming in to work with us. Chris Betts is coming in, Cindy Coughlin, Donna Dunlop is coming back with us, Natasha McCarthy is going to be joining the board, Gina Burke, and Victoria Prestigion. Round of applause for all these wonderful folks. I'm really excited to work with all of you folks in the coming years and continuing to make Cedarcrest such a wonderful community. Really fantastic. By vote of the 2022 meeting and the following will continue for another year. Myself as chair, Kevin Forrest as vice chair, treasurer will remain Kathy Wilbarger, and secretary Jackie Ether. Thank you so much for continuing on. In terms of new advisory council members, we're fortunate to have support from so many. New nominees to the advisory council are Kristen Leach, Cameron Tees will be staying with us in an advisory council capacity, Liz Peets, and Scott Olmsted. And that concludes the business aspect of this meeting.
Thanks, Tom. At this time, we'd love to have Jay, the man, the myth, and the legend, come back to the podium for the Champion Awards.
right. So as you know, it's become an annual tradition to recognize Cedarcrest champions. These are friends in the community who contribute and enrich the work that we do here. It's my pleasure to bestow this honor to two individuals this year. One has served the children in mission through their professional capacity, and one is a long-term volunteer in a wide variety of roles. I'd like to ask Kathleen Talbot to join me. Kathleen provides indirect support to the children and youth at Cedarcrest as a community program specialist for the state of New Hampshire, the Division of Health and Human Services. For more than a decade, she's been a great partner and an invaluable resource to many here as we help transition children and youth into our care and beyond.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you so much and express my most sincere thanks to Cedarcrest, dedicated staff, administration, and the board. New Hampshire is so lucky to have this level of care for children and families who really need it. During my time in this role, since 2011, I've always been impressed by the leadership at Cedarcrest, the care and compassion of the staff, and I'm thankful for the relationships, especially for the years with Kathy and Kristen, and now with Jay. Thank you.
Kathleen has that special magical quality that whenever we have like a head-scratching policy question, we're like, have we tried her? She'll know. And if she doesn't know, she'll know how to help us find it. For our second nominee, it would not surprise me if everyone in the room knew his name. Glenn Galloway, please come up. Glenn joined our board in 2012, and he was active on most, if not all, of our committees, particularly those that handled financial matters. Glenn served for 2 years as the chair of trustees, and somewhere in that time frame began reading in our Peach classroom. Glenn's dedication was unparalleled, including reading via Zoom throughout the public health emergency. Glenn also has the distinction of being the single highest team leader ever in raising donated funds for children's needs through our annual walk and roll. We are grateful for his time and for his positive impact. Thank you, Glenn. Kathleen, we may have to do a photo after, yeah. So you can try to stage manage Jay. You can't always stage manage Jay. Now we'll have Jeff come back up.
One more time for Kathleen and Glenn. Let's give it up. So at this time, we're going to have some more inspirational remarks, this time by Ada, LNA.
Hi, my name is Ada, and I work in the educational department. So I'm going to talk about inspiration. When thinking about inspiration, my mind goes straight to a lot of things, but it immediately goes to the children. I love my job because I get to help young minds grow and learn. Cedarcrest has inspired me in many ways ever since I started working here 9 years ago. I worked in multiple departments: laundry, educational LNA, and home ed LNA. In each department, I found gratitude, support, and inspiration for my coworkers. At the end of the day, it takes a village to come together for the children and the young adults. I have a couple of examples I would like to share. Can't share all of them, but my yellow room teacher, Nadja, who I've seen make leaps and bounds since I trained her as an LNA. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. Not only does she have a remarkable work ethic, but so is her personality. I can always count on her to give me support I need to help myself grow personally and professionally. Another person that comes to my mind is my coworker and best friend, Samantha, who always comes to work with such a positive attitude. Her dedication to the children goes above and beyond. All the children thrive through her cheerful, goofy personality. The amazing work we do is unique and exceptional. Recently, I feel inspired to gain more knowledge after having the opportunity to go to a conference in Colorado. Colorado was a major experience in my personal and professional life that inspired me to become much more in touch with what Cedarcrest has to offer, as well as what I can offer back. The reason we are inspired and inspiring is because of what we do. And thank you to Cedarcrest for giving us that inspiration to us, the employees, and most importantly, the children and young adults. Thank you.
Great job, Ada. I know you were nervous. Did a great job. Absolutely. So we're going to have our illustrious leader come up again, yes, to present some more awards, the Peg Knox Awards.
It's like a lot of sitting and standing, these things. I'm really thrilled to be able to, again, present the Peg Knox Scholarships. It's a tradition at Cedarcrest now 11 years running. This year, the Scholarship Selection Committee and Board of Trustees are presenting 2 scholarships. These staff members exemplify Cedarcrest's commitment to personal and professional development in healthcare and the allied health professions. Having spent a little bit of time with Peg, I have a clear sense of her connection with children who need an extra level of care and support. Peg has a very unique personality, and it is a great testament to that commitment and that passion to the field of nursing that this scholarship in her honor continues to have a significant impact on the lives of rising nurses and in supporting children with complex needs. It's a neat moment for me at Cedarcrest anytime I'm pulled aside for a staff person to tell me how great a colleague is doing in their work, and thankfully that happens a lot here. Our recipients this year are 2 such examples of people that I've been pulled aside to say, like, hey, Jay, do you know that they are really doing the thing? The Knox Scholars this year are Brianna Yavina and Morgan Nauman. Please come on up and be recognized. The whole evening of annual meeting feels very celebratory because we get to have moments like that. We have a new one this year, so we are also presenting a continuing education scholarship. So I'm thrilled to present 2 such continuing education scholarships to staff who are also furthering their professional education. These folks couldn't be with us here in person tonight, but I believe are both live streaming. And our continuing education scholars this year are Alicia Maki and Katie Chamberlain. Congratulations to them both. All right, Jeff, I want some more inspiration.
Boy, it must be hard to choose as any leader or department head. You have so many talented and qualified people working with you and for you. To choose people to get these awards must be painstaking and wonderful, yes.
Good problem to have.
Good problem to have, exactly. All right, so the next on the docket is our wonderful inspirational remarks from Lane, MNA. Come on down.
Good evening. I'm also a little nervous, not really one for public speaking. My name is Lainey. I'm both a medication nurse assistant and a licensed nurse assistant. I came to Cedarcrest just over 7 years ago. My younger sister spent most of her life as a resident of Cedarcrest. After her passing, I felt as though I needed a way to give back to the place and the people who took such amazing care of her and gave her the joy and love-filled life she deserved. It wasn't long before I completely fell in love with my role. Working at Cedarcrest has given me the opportunity to have an impact on the lives of so many children and their families. I have had the chance to be a part of so many first steps, first bites, and bittersweet goodbyes. I couldn't have asked for a more rewarding, fulfilling, and meaningful career. Today, as I embark on my own journey in the nursing field, I look back at my time spent here at Cedarcrest and all of its dedicated nurses and LNAs who have inspired me. I am driven by the desire to provide the same exceptional level of care and support that I see them give every day. They encourage me to be a source of comfort, strength, and healing for those in need. I will forever be inspired by the staff, children, and my experiences here at Cedarcrest. Thank you.
Wow. I'm going to make an executive decision and invite Jay up to the podium yet again. And Jay's going to provide an update for the Crescendo Consulting Group, the needs assessment, and provide important progress updates related to Cedarcrest branding project. And here he is again. If you didn't know who this is Jay.
Thank you, everybody. So as Jeff said, we have a couple of major strategic initiatives happening at present, one being a community needs assessment. We've engaged an external firm, Crescendo, to help us with that process. So we wanted to give you all, our key and favorite stakeholders, a little update on their work and where they're at. There were a couple of key motivating questions in engaging them to do this needs assessment. The first you see here is to better understand the size of the pediatric and adult population who have both complex medical and developmental needs here in northern New England, so some population health data. And to understand how providers similar to Cedarcrest have expanded or currently serve both their existing child population and potentially the transition age young adult population. So they've been looking for data to support or to flesh out the need to expand our services in those two arenas. Is there a need for additional support for children with complex medical and developmental needs? And are there existing supports, or do supports need to be developed for our folks who are turning 21 and 22 and entering the adult system? So what did they do? What is their methodology to this point? They have gathered both hard and soft data, or quantitative and qualitative data, service use and caseload data from pediatric intensive care units and neonatal intensive care units. They've used this to estimate the number of children and adults who have both of those sets of needs, the complex medical and developmental needs. And they're also conducting one-on-one interviews with parents and referral sources to understand the qualitative side of that case. So some of their projections, some of the work that they're doing is building out this data for us and building out some analysis of that data. So based on the most common medical diagnoses, incidence rates, and the total population of northern New England, they're able to make some projections already about the potential size of the population who may be eligible for services at Cedarcrest. You see here some of their kind of initial data that they're pulling for us. And these are point-in-time numbers. So in Vermont, they've identified 15 kids and 20 to 23 adults in this need category, 30 to 50 in New Hampshire. In Maine, they're expecting to give us more data later this week. Many referral partners have mentioned something we've heard from many of you all and from parents and families, that as kids age out of services at Cedarcrest, there is not a perfect place for them to go. There is not a setting that has the right combination of supports, particularly in the areas of round-the-clock care and nursing. Home-based services, I think folks are all well aware, are in a bit of a fraught position at present, and so there is not a robust set of home care services either. And so that leads us back to this question that we've reflected on in strategic planning and in other group settings. What happens at age 21? What happens at age 22? And if the right support is not available in the community, then are we not called to be that right support? Lots of logistical questions go into answering that ideal, but that is the moment in time that we are at on strategy. Caitlin and Scott are two of the principals at Crescendo who are doing this work. If you have any questions, they are happy to be reached out to directly, or you can chat with Patty or I about the details. So more to come. We expect later this fall to have a publicly available needs assessment that the folks can review that does explore the data for us and validate some of the things we think we're hearing from our stakeholder groups. Now I'm going to talk about branding. Now I'm going to circle back to what I said at the beginning. There's talk of name and logo and tagline and colors. And we've engaged Cookson Communications, who many folks in the state are familiar with, to help us with our rebranding process, both a brand audit and a website development. Some of the things that they've worked on for us thus far include focus groups, a branding overview, trying to analyze our target audiences for our communications, and things that differentiate us as a brand from not only other providers of care in the area, not only other places where LNAs or other staff may work, but also in the field of 45 or so pediatric centers nationwide. Phase 2 of the project involved some creative development. I think many of the folks in the room participated in our rounds of voting. Cookson had to pull Patty and I aside and say, like, hey, you guys want like a lot more people giving feedback than most of our clients. He's like, you're doing like multiple rounds of voting, you're bringing all these people to the table. That's how we do things here. So part of what they did was go through logo concepts, help us with identifying what works and doesn't work about our name and our tagline, and then supporting an overall look and feel for our brand. You see here, if you did not participate in those rounds of voting, you see some of the early options for logos that were voted on. It was pretty hotly contested, but between the logos, I will say that this one, not anyone's top choice. But a lot of votes, a lot of virtual ink spilled among the other three. And I think they did a good job capturing different aspects of our history and carrying that through into a logo that reflects on our tradition, but also brings us into the future. You'll also, sorry, I keep causing us to kick back a slide. On that slide with the logos, you'll see what we have decided on in terms of name and tagline. So they did not change all that much. Rather than Cedarcrest Center for Children with Disabilities, we're going forward as Cedarcrest or as Cedarcrest Center. And rather than, with our tagline, we are going with exceptional complex care and education. So a slight shift, a one-word shift in our tagline. All right, I promise we can go forward now, Patty. The phase that we're in right now, what we're working on currently is brand standards, things like fonts and color palette, our logo and our sub-brand usage. The amount of effort that goes into things like stationery is, like you don't know it until you do it, but it's a lot. And so this is sort of where we're at. And now we'll give you a sneak peek. So probably not surprisingly, as it ended up being a clear number one, but the logo here with the heart calling back to our heart home logo for many years. Reflecting, here are some of the little fiddly details that you talk about when you're doing a branding project. You probably picked up on the fact that the body of the person is a CC, so Cedarcrest. And the person conveys a feeling of being smaller in stature, honoring the fact that we have a pediatric legacy and focus. Interestingly, this color palette with the purple Early on, I think all of us in the initial group said, wow, this is like a striking color, but is it going to stand up once we put it out there to vote? Is it going to be a choice that is very popular? And we ended up having some pretty intense rounds of voting. There was a blue and yellow combination that was also really evocative and sort of resonant with what we do. And I think, Patty, tell me if I have this right, or Jen, I think you were there. It came down to 2 children getting home from school. 2 children who had gone out to school in the community came back and cast the deciding vote, or the deciding votes, for our color palette, which is pretty neat, and I think reflects the sort of the ethic or the ethos of Cedarcrest. So what you'll see over the next couple of months is we'll start to transition some of these elements into our communications, but the firm or the real launch of the rebranded items and our new website will come in January. So with a calendar year launch, strategic plan, website, new logo and color palette, and lots of new branded items for those of you that love to rock the Cedarcrest swag. All right, land the plane, Jay. I say things like this a lot, but I mean them really profoundly, and so I'm going to say them again. Thank you all so much for sharing in this work. We are energized and inspired by your support and your encouragement, and in so many ways, we could not do this without you. I also need to again thank this truly remarkable group of staff, managers, directors who do the hard work every day at Cedarcrest. I think I said this earlier, but I have the greatest job in the world because I come to work every day and I get to ask these folks what incredible things we're going to accomplish next. I said incredible again. I'm sorry, but I mean it. Jeff, take us home.
Let's go home. Wow. I get the amazing opportunity and complex opportunity to wrap up and paraphrase and succinctly what happened tonight. So, as an organizational coach, as you heard in my extended bio, I peer behind the veil a lot in companies, in leadership teams. And I'm a newbie here. I'm probably one of the newer faces. I'm a few months in. Anyone beat me? Anyone less? You're a few months in? No, you're not. Come on. I can't see you with my readers on. These are up close. She's being funny. But I get to peer behind the veil, and it's not always pretty. And that's okay. You know, sometimes it's not pretty at the top in those teams. It's not pretty in the organizations. In fact, 30% of people are engaged today in organizations. It's such a paltry number. People aren't feeling it, right? What's cool about this place is my limited 4 months or so peering a little bit behind the veil. I see so much amazing gratitude and hard work and passion. And I captured some really cool phrases. I'm not saying these, you said these, all right? So I just want to read these out. So tonight we heard a couple times, greatest job in the world, collaboration, amazing outcomes, hard work with grace and dedication, incredible team. How many times we've heard incredible, amazing, and inspiring? That's very incredible. And you don't need to be sorry about that. Say it loud, say it proud, capitalize that sucker. It's very inspiring. Legacy, history, top-notch talent. I can't share the stories, there's too many of them. Gratitude and support, commitment to professional and personal development, source of healing, and strategic excellence. Who wouldn't want to be part of an organization like that? I want to bang that drum from the top of the rooftops and blow that horn and call y'all yonder. Come to Cedarcrest. It's a wonderful place. Tonight, we got to congratulate new board members and award winners. Congratulations again. We got to hear inspiring stories from boots on the ground, people doing the work. We got to hear an abridged version of business. That was pretty awesome. We got to hear strategic business, including this awesome logo. Just want to take another deep breath in. Let's inspire together. And let's expire together as we move to close. This organization will continue to thrive because of the quality of the people that are here in this room and folks that are not in this room. Their ears are ringing right now. You make a big difference, a major difference in this community, inside the walls and beyond. We're going to close one door tonight, but you bet another door will open. So I just want to say to the future, and thank you all for coming.